But after you left here, you got pretty excited about the keyboard. In fact, you tweeted at me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And let me read what the last one said. It said, greedy CEO who pretends like he's self-made. Pretends like he's self-made. What a clown. Fraud. Always has been, always will be. Quit the tough guy act in these Senate hearings. You know where to find me. Any place, anytime, cowboy. Sir, this is a time, this is a place. If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big guy.
Oh, stop it.
Is that your solution, every problem?
No, sit down.
No, you're a clown.
Sit down.
Look at you.
You're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Active.
Oh, okay.
Sit down, please.
All right.
Can I respond? Mr. Chairman?
Hold it. If
Hold
we
on.
can't,
This
no,
is
I have
what
the
he
mic.
said.
I'm sorry.
This is
Hold
what
it.
he said.
You'll have your time.
Okay.
Can I respond?
Oh, no, you can't.
Hello, America. It's time to check the nonsense at the door, clear the cobwebs between your ears, and have a rational-ish conversation. This is the lost art of common sense. That's right, America. I'm Josh.
And I'm Kevin.
And this is the lost art of common sense. And this week, we're going to be talking about wokeism and where we think it came from, how it's progressed, and where we think it's going and how it's looking nowadays. So let's jump right into, well, you know what? Before that, let's go ahead and explain the cold opening of kind of anti-wokeism there, where part of wokeism is, the attack on toxic masculinity. And when you have a senator saying pretty much there's nothing but air and opportunity and challenging a guy to a fight in the Senate, not the Senate floor, but a
Senate hearing.
Senate hearing floor. That was pretty hilarious. So, what did you think of that, Kevin? Did you think it was?
I thought it was hilarious. I thought, you see it all the time. Sometimes, well, not all the time, but you see it at times in like the English Parliament where guys actually go into fists, like they start fighting each other. I'm like, let them do it, man. Why is Bernie Sanders trying to stop this? Let this happen.
That's why you asked. Apparently, you can legally get in a fist fight with somebody as long as both parties mutually agree to combat.
Well, see,
It's mutually agreed upon combat.
yeah, like
Mutual combat.
Mutual combat.
Oh my gosh, did he say mortal? That'd be funny if the guy came around the back of the table. Gonna get you, gonna kick your ass. He's like, I'm gonna feel real bad for kicking Uncle Fester's ass, but you left the mansion and became, I think he's a Teamster president, but
He was a Teamster president.
So yeah,
I think he said in some, I don't know, deposition or something that he would pretty much fight that guy.
yeah. So the guy called him out on it.
Yeah.
It was like, you ain't standing. Well, you ain't standing.
Yeah.
That reminds me of that one time that we had a worker at down here on a job site. These guys are yelling at each other, saying they're going to kick each other's ass. I was like, well, get over here and I'll kick your ass. And the guy's like, I'm literally standing right in front of you. The only thing separating them was like an orange snow fence. But like, literally, they were right faced. I'm going to come over there and kick your ass. He's like, what the hell are you talking about? You're already right here.
You're literally inches away from me.
It's like, I mean, I guess if we did stand-up boxing, the fence wouldn't be an issue.
No.
So,
That's such a weird thing to do.
That's kind of what that reminded me of. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that kind of goes into it because there is a definite attack on just masculinity. There's no such thing as toxic. I guess it could be.
No,
like,
I mean, there is. I think if
like super type A, and I don't think the
roid rage type of masculinity, yes.
Yeah, the guys that are like type A, but I don't think if the shit hit the fan, they're type A kind of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those people could be toxic just because they're toxic human beings. It has nothing to do with masculinity.
No.
In fact, they may be overcompensating from a lack of masculinity.
I guarantee there's toxic betas.
Yeah, like all of them.
Yeah.
But they're the ones who hold the signs. I hope she touches it later. We all know why they're there, Kevin.
They don't give a shit about any of this. Deep down, they're still men.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part.
Well, maybe not anymore, but
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really. Obviously, we didn't really plan on that being the cold opening, but I remembered it and I showed it to
But
Kevin.
it
I'm
was
like, you know what?
funny.
We can
I
fit this in, and it's hilarious.
is it the cold opening, or are we doing the other thing?
Yeah, no, that's
opening?
cold
And this is start right after the beginning.
Nope, that's a cold opening. The other one's just for you, Kevin. You and your TikTok account, our TikTok account. So make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and then follow us on TikTok if you still have that Chinese spyware on your phone.
Follow us on all
videos.
social media. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter,
Yeah, we
or X, I guess.
If you're watching us and you're not one of our blind listeners, you saw all the logos and the Chiron at the beginning, and you'll see them again and again.
Yes, but for our people that are just listening on the radio on to and from work or whenever,
we're pretty much on everything.
Yeah,
I think pretty
if
much.
there's a thing, we're on it.
Yeah,
I think, except for Threads, the Facebook one.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
No, we're not doing Threads.
Stupid.
We're also on Truth. So.
Yep. Which I get the whole post whatever you want, but they might want to get some type of just bullshit spam filter because that's about 50% of the feed.
Dude.
Well, when you hire a politician to run a social media company, sometimes there's going to be roadblocks. Well, they got to do something because, I don't know if that's ads or what, but like you were saying, it's just like, to
get to any comments, you have to go through 50 fucking things of spam.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with or either that or have a bot filter.
Something, because they are bad with it. I get mentioned on these stupid spam things all the time. I turn off the goddamn notifications on Truth. And I get a lot of my fucking news from a lot of right wing news from Truth.
Your white wing conspiracy theories?
Right wing. Now they're not conspiracy theories. Usually it's just news organizations that aren't fucking corrupted by the fucking left and ESG and BlackRock.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I get the direct links. I haven't had as many bullshit ones as you, but we're on there. So if you're on there, find us somewhere. But let's get into it, Kevin. I want you, with your vast knowledge and verbiage, because you use your words good. Kevin,
good word me.
To explain the arc as you understand it of wokeism. Where it started, where it's gone, and where you think it's headed.
Well, I think it started in the 60s in the summer of love and all the hippies and communes and all that stuff. And
I mean the summer of VD.
Yeah. Yeah, a bunch of syphilis. So much. Okay, well, we're back. But no, I think it started in that era. A lot of the anti-Vietnam people, I guess, the word woke wasn't there, but I mean, those were the woke people. And I mean, I get why they didn't want to be in Vietnam. I feel like it was a war that had no purpose, like every other war since World War II, other than fueling the machine of war and money. But I think what happened was these free living hippies pretty much thought that love and I mean the way you say it sounds bad to trash them, but I mean it's
hippies are socialists.
Yeah, so it's what brought socialism. Bernie Sanders was a hippie, wasn't he?
Oh, if he wasn't, I'm sure he leached off him somehow. But
yes,
he's done nothing but live off the government, and he used to be super pro Russia back in the day. But if you look back at the hippie communes of the 60s and 70s, for one, they all failed because they're lazy pieces of shit. But it's socialism.
That and the ones from Manson killed people. I mean, they're basically cults.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's socialism. It's social experiments, socialism experiments that failed.
Yeah, and they always fail.
Hey, man, did anybody cook the cabbage?
But here's what really happened. But here's what the worst thing is it failed, but people still got stuck in their head. That's the way to go. So they taught their kids what to do. And those people, probably went to college and became professors, and some became professors. And they're teaching young kids how their social how it's so much better, socialism is so much better, even though they literally lived a failed experiment. Then then it keeps going and going. Then you get certain leaders who who promote like this stuff. They reaffirm what these people think. So when you reaffirm it, then they think they're right, even though they're wrong, and it keeps going and going. And I think we're in the peak of it right now. And I think it's starting to wane, but I still think we're in peak wokeness right now. And the weird thing about wokeness is it is the most racist shit ever.
It's the most racist, intolerant bullshit that's ever. The funny thing is, I think
basically they went from free love and everybody's equal to nobody's equal, and your skin color is what priority is.
Well, and like, yeah, because it's like they think everybody. It's horrendously reverse racist for sure, because they think nobody can take care of themselves, and they.
Well,
have
I mean,
to be
even
taken care
like
of by
blatant
them.
racism towards black people. Like they don't think they can get. They're not smart enough to get their IDs. They can't do certain things because they're black. I'm pretty sure black people can do whatever white people can do.
Yeah.
They don't need assistance from liberal fucking Mary and her fucking suburban fucking house and, fucking social justice warrior fucking Facebook post. They say the most racist shit thinking they're being inclusive. It's so weird. And no one calls them out on this shit.
Well, it started in the funny thing is wokeism started. The term woke came in during Obama. I think it was because when was he elected? 2008.
Yeah, 2008 was his first term.
Yeah, the term was coined apparently in the 2010s, but it was apparently an adjective derived from African American vernacular English, meaning alert to racial prejudice and discrimination. So they started that, and then they started adding micro groups to it. So it's not just like black people and then it became all minorities, and then it became genders and.
Well, that's because white liberal people steal
hate themselves.
Steal everything from black people that pretend they care.
Yeah, like the DNC chair who said she was black and she was a redhead.
Yeah. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, I don't want to make this a race thing, but I think race has a lot to do with the wokeism nowadays.
I just told you that's where the term woke came from.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so many different groups of woke. I mean, I hate using this fucking term. I think it's overused. But there's so many people that are liberal, not even liberal, far left. There's so many groups, and they all try to vie for power, I guess, riding the backs of, racism and the word racism. Basically, so, everybody feels like they're being put down for who they are, when basically goes back to the generation thing, X show you did. You're not fucking special. Sorry, but you're not. You're just another cog in the fucking machine for the most part, because you're loud and fucking annoying.
The funny thing is their biggest problem is that they aren't cogs in the machine.
No, what they are is all they want to do is disrupt and make it about them. And this is the shit from Generation X that we fucked up, and that these fucking hippies had their kids who raised raised Gen X, and Gen X took that from their parents, from their free loving fucking parents, and they put it towards their children, only they were even less strict than their hippie parents. So now you get all these people that have no boundaries, no rules, no care for any kind of social construct, no care for community. It's all about self, and it's all about what they think is their truth.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty accurate.
So it's like a snowball effect of shit.
Well, I mean, we've seen it, and you see it through ESG. You see it through. See, that's why I think it's in the, and we'll get to the next question after this, but the reason why I think it peaked I think it peaked at COVID, and I think ever since COVID, it's on the downslide. I mean, ESG has been banned in states. Some countries are kicking it out.
I think Florida has banned ESG. Did Texas ban ESG?
I think so, and there was a Northeast state that did too. Actually, I think they were the first ones.
I think it's on Iowa's thing next year or next whatever go round.
But like COVID's like, okay, everybody knew when college kids went to college, they came out stupid or were stupid while they were in college because it's a continuation where you're like kind of out on your own, but you're still being taken care of, unless you're like me and you worked and just got tired of being poor, so you went back to work. But like you paid for all your stuff. But people that go to college that live off debts or their parents paying for it, it's like they're on their own, but they're not. So it's like that's the socialist utopia for them. But like we discovered during COVID about the K through 12 stuff and how they're infiltrating that. Politicians, that's where I think COVID really, I think
COVID
that's
really
why
exposed a lot of people.
even exposed the politicians because it just showed the side of like, because wokeism became basically progressivism was disguised. At first they disguised it as liberalism, then they decided as wokeism. And then under politicians and stuff, and then politicians started to show. So during COVID, you're like, wear your mask, take your vaccines, stay indoors, do this, do this, do this, do this. And like it was a fad. So it's like people that were considered woke are like, I'm woke. I do what the man tells me to do, and I'm going to do my part. And I'm like that one bitch. It was like, I can't wait until they say I can get my 1-year-old, 18-month-old vaccinated, and then I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna lick all you people who aren't vaccinated. It's like, oh well, you're a horrible person.
Why would you lick anybody? That's gross.
I mean, movies, stuff like that, and businesses, like it's just, and the movie things. What I don't get is like, how do people, unless they live in a bubble, not realize and see the writing on the wall that this stuff is working its way out? I mean, Disney, I mean, maybe they were already made, but Disney lost like umpteen $1 billion this year. Marvels that came out, which I'm not going to see, that was a flop.
Yeah, it might be the one Marvel movie I won't probably ever see.
I'm not going to watch it. I thought it looked stupid in the previews.
It did,
and I'm tired of watching these like, well, and like I don't care about having strong female characters. Like they did a good job with the first Wonder Woman movie. The second one was stupid.
The second one was stupid,
but there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, I mean it was good and it had a good story arc to it. But the second one was like she was perfect, could do no wrong, and that's the way all female characters. They're super strong. I didn't mind
the first Captain Marvel movie. I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad.
I just can't stand what's her face,
Brie Larson.
Yeah, I don't know. All these people that think that, like, oh, women are super awesome and men are dumb. Like, okay, so I guess it's the overcorrection thing. Even though I'm sure some guys were like, yeah, women are dumb.
I don't know. But, I find me a man who didn't like the movie Alien or Aliens.
Yeah.
Find me a man who didn't like Terminator or Terminator 2.
Well, I loved it, but it was just so unrealistic for that lady.
Oh, yeah, it's fucking about robots and aliens, you idiot.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You can have strong female characters, but what they've done now is they've gone so far over to where it's like strong female characters at the expense and making fun of the male characters. Like they had to take away from them and then elevate them. So people are just tired of it. It's like, okay, to all the super feminists, whatever. I heard some guy on a podcast one time say something or some video where it's like, yeah, we're all dumb and everything, but like if every man on the planet just decided to like not give a shit anymore, what would happen? It's like, yo, you guys are dumb. Yeah, I don't care. We're not doing it. But you have to make me. I mean, I'm just saying, like each side has its own strength. So like elevating one and making like it's an anti masculinity thing. It's like guys are worthless, and I mean I think that's what's turning people off in the movies. I mean, it's just old. There's no story arc. They're super perfect, and it's just whatever.
Well, here's the thing about the feminists, and stop saying you don't like it because it's female led. These feminists aren't going out to fucking see it either. Women aren't going out to see it. Women aren't going to the fucking WNBA.
Yeah, women
But they
make up
wanna
over
bitch
half the
about how-
population.
But they want to bitch about it. They want to bitch about how the WNBA or the women's soccer players or they're not getting paid the same as the men when they're getting subsidized by the men's sports. And if women just went to these games and watched these games like men watch basketball or football or soccer, I guess. I don't know who watches soccer, you weirdos. But probably women. But I'm just saying, but what I'm saying is if they would just support what they want to bitch about, there wouldn't be a problem. There wouldn't be a
Well, that's the problem, though. It's the silent. It's the whole thing where we keep, we've said a few times, and I think we've said it back and forth all the time in our conversations. But like the silent majority needs to stand up and not be silent anymore, because the reason why they think it's this big important thing is because there's a minority of people yelling about it, and then somehow these dumbasses in these businesses, probably because of ESG, BlackRock, stuff like that, implement this crap into their business model, and then they lose a shit ton of money because turns out a mass majority of the people aren't drinking the Kool-Aid.
yeah.
So, I mean, that was an example of it.
I want to give you an example here of something that works that's where I live is Iowa women's basketball. Because we have the most dynamic player. If you put a good product on the floor, people will show up. And that's the main thing.
Are you referring to women as products, Kevin?
I'm referring to any kind of sport as a product. It's a leisure activity you watch. It's a product.
That's right. Walk it
back. But I'm just saying, like, if you put something on the floor that people want to see, they'll show up. Iowa women have sold out all their games at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Men's basketball hasn't done that. So if you put
their team, the dude's team sucks.
Well, the men's team's not bad.
I don't know.
I mean, they haven't been bad, but the women's.
I'm just assuming they're not as good. But the women's,
well, they don't have the best player in college basketball on the men's team. They have the best women player, probably better than some men playing for them. So, I mean, it's a big difference.
It's entertaining and people want to watch, and they'll watch it.
But the WNBA is, I don't know, I haven't watched much of it.
That's why I think the whole term equal pay for equal play is stupid. I mean, no, it's all about revenue generation. If your sport isn't generating the revenue, you're not going to make as much money. If you make a movie and it doesn't sell tickets, then chances are you're not going to be able to demand a higher paycheck. So, Mr.
You don't deserve it because you think you deserve it. Because
Doctor Strange, did you know that dude will not do a movie unless every actor makes the same amount of money?
Benedict Cumberbatch. That's like saying his name.
Yeah, so it's like, I won't do this movie unless all the ladies make the same amount as me.
Well, I mean, is he taking a pay cut then? I mean, if he is, then good for him. He might be.
I mean, that's fine if you want to do that. But like, it's all about the reason why A-list stars make more money is people want to go see their movies. Yeah, because they're the draw.
Yes, they're the draw.
It's like if you want to make more money, be more like I think the lady who is going to play Snow White, apparently she's been blacklisted. This is actually one of the reasons why I want to do this episode, because I saw a couple videos like Disney cancel like 3 movies and
because she's
shows.
Weird. She's a weirdo who just says the wrong thing at the wrong time because
she's forgettable. I did not realize that she was in the second Shazam movie.
What?
Yeah, she was the god that like pushed stuff.
I didn't know.
The younger of the 3 gods. You had the older lady.
Yeah, the 2 older ladies.
And then the young one. She was the young one.
You had Lucy Liu, the older one, and Heather. Helen Mirren. And her.
No, it's not Heather Mirren.
Helen?
Heather Mirren's the old one.
Yeah. They had Lucy Liu, right?
Yep.
Then you had the forgettable one.
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
It starts with a Z. Or her last name starts with a Z.
Let's see.
Zegman?
That sounds right.
No, I think I might be thinking of the guy from Ghostbusters. I think Spedman. No. Speedman. No. Zeppelin?
Zeppelin.
I don't think it's Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin.
But no, she's a big weirdo. And You know,
Rachel
Rachel?
Zegler.
Zegler.
Rachel Zegler.
But she's a big weirdo. And I mean,
Okay,
when
so
you,
she was the reason why when I found out that I also found out that she's in the new Hunger Games movie. And so when I found out who she was and the more I heard about her and the more I couldn't stand her as a person, I'm like, well, I'm not going to see that movie now because I can't stand her. And then while I was reading the reviews on it, I'm like, well, maybe I'll watch it when it come out. And I might still. They said that it's an okay movie, but there's too much singing.
they're singing in it?
Apparently so. Rachel Zegler's like, if I'm in a movie, I'm going to sing, and it's going to be
That
fantastic.
can't possibly. Is that for the Hunger Games or for Snow White? I can see it in Snow White.
No, Hunger Games. Look it up. Look up. Go into IM.
There's
DB,
too much. There's too much singing.
and some dude or some person didn't like it because there's too much singing.
There shouldn't be any singing.
It's weird.
It is weird. What? Would they make it
I
a
don't
musical?
know. There was a little singing in the other ones with Jennifer Lawrence, who's also an insufferable actress who I can't stand. I'm the first female actress. Every girl who comes out with some type of action thing automatically says they're the first female action star.
Again, do you not know your history of movies? There have been female action stars since
For a
probably the
while.
yeah,
There's strong female actresses even all the way back into the 20s.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand it. They also say that back in the day, Hollywood worked very hard to keep the lives of their Hollywood stars private. Like they didn't like them talking. Their interviews were highly scripted. And they basically only wanted you to see them on billboards, in previews, and in the movies.
Dance,
So that way
monkey
it
dance.
makes them larger than life, like, because that's the only time you see them.
Yeah.
And
that
then once
makes
social
sense.
media came around, they started offering up their opinions. People are like,
Shut the fuck up.
yeah, nobody cares what you think. Just entertain me. That's your job.
You're not
Entertain
any
me.
smarter than anybody because you can memorize a line and make a facial expression.
It kind of annoys me that they make as much money as they do.
It annoys the shit out of me. No, not really. I don't care about that shit. I mean, they make movies and they make money, millions upon millions of dollars for the movies. So, yes, they should be compensated for their work for what they do. Because
Okay. So if it takes 10
if I
months
worked
to
a
make a
job-
movie,
yeah, but if I worked a job and that job made $500 million, I'd be pissed if I was making only $100,000 of it.
I think that's too much.
You think that's too much?
I think, well, I don't know. I just know that paying someone
if you're the
$25
reason that
million
job,
to pretend.
But hold on, but if you're the reason that job made $500 million and you only got paid $100,000,
I mean,
wouldn't you want to be compensated for your time for that much?
Welcome to my life, Kevin. Welcome to my life.
You are not that good.
It's an everyday struggle, brother. Everyday struggle.
We should show this to our boss. This is what it's
you
like. You
really
dick.
need to check out episode 35, buddy.
Yeah, just
I'm
at
saying.
minute 32 or whatever, 22 or
All I'm telling you, America, is know your worth. Now, I guess I don't have a problem with making all that money, but the problem is they make all this money, and then they think because they have a lot of money in their bank account by working.
Well, yeah,
and I know it's so hard, and there's so many hours, and being an actor is so much harder than people that work manual labor, and they deserve it. They think that money makes them smart.
yeah, that's the problem. Is you think because you're
They
rich,
think money
you're
and
smart.
fame somehow makes them intelligent.
No, and they're not. They're morons. Most of them are morons. Most of them are inept.
Yeah.
I was going to say something, but I didn't. So inept idiots.
Well, and it's funny. I saw this. I guess there's this thing like called Rate Me.
Huh?
Rate
Oh.
Me. RATE. And
What? What sites are you going to?
I don't want to talk about it. It's prescription based though. Subscription. No, but they had these thing about IQ, and they had like I think all of them went to college except for one. He had a high school diploma, and he was a Marine, and they're all rating each other and who might have the highest IQ. And then everybody picked the Chinese immigrant dude who went to Harvard as the smartest, and then there was one of the girls was a PhD. Well, everybody but this one like artsy guy, he probably did something in fashion based on how he was dressed and his hair looked. everybody picked the Marine to be last except for the fashion guy. He picked himself to be last. So then at the end of the video, they actually take an IQ test.
Yeah.
And the PhD got last.
What?
Yeah, I think there's 6 or 7 of them, and the Marine was like just under the top half, but the PhD was dead last. And then like he was in front of a lot of people, and they're like, "Well, IQ tests don't mean much." And this one goes like, "And I'm dyslexic, so there are 2 questions right off the bat that I will not get right." It's like, okay, dyslexia is a thing; it's a learning disorder, and now that they know what it is, I'm pretty sure you can work around it.
You can work around it. You can.
She kept using that as a crutch for everything. Kept
Well-
bringing it. I'm dyslexic. Okay.
Okay.
And back in the day, you'd be put in the class where you ate pancakes.
Yes.
It's like, hey man, where the hell did you get pancakes?
Yeah,
Well, you need to show up to my special class.
but I wish I had the pancakes. I didn't have pancakes every morning.
I did.
Oh, you were in pancake class?
I had to go to a pancake class. When I went from public to public school in 4th grade, I didn't read no good. So I had to go to the pancake class, and after a year, I was caught up.
Well, I mean, that's what it is people think people have an over sense of who they are. They think their importance is too much. Again, this goes back to how they were raised and
Well, they base intelligence on how much shit you know, too. That does not rate your intelligence.
No.
Your ability to memorize stuff or just like you memorizing facts. That's why they say, some people say that the longer you spend in college being talked to, it actually makes you less intelligent because you don't do a whole lot of creative thinking.
Yeah, you're not figuring out how to problem solve, basically. You have no problem solving skills. What you have is a problem making ability because you're an idiot.
That is true. So we got way off the rails on that, but yeah,
Not
because
really.
we're smart. We're smart, Kevin.
It all came back to.
Well, I guarantee you the PhD was a little full of herself and pretty woke. She had disdain in her eyes for not just the IQ test itself. And you
Well, for
ever
being
heard
a
of
big dum-dum?
EQ? Have you heard the term EQ?
No.
Emotional IQ
No, shut
or
the fuck up.
emotional?
See, that's not woke shit.
No, that's a real thing. Emotional intelligent. I'm like, oh, you have low EQ. Well, that just means you can go fuck yourself.
That's
'Cause I
what
don't
it
care.
is.
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Emotional fucking.
It's your ability to understand your own and recognize other people's emotions. Like, who cares?
Yeah, but I mean, I can still understand when somebody's pissed at me or somebody's happy.
Well,
I mean,
maybe you have a high EQ, Kevin.
Well, I mean, it's not that hard when they either punch me or the face or they fucking hug me.
Well, apparently that's all it takes. But that's what they kept bringing. You obviously have like a low EQ. I can just tell. It's like,
I mean, I know what my emotions
shut
are.
up.
I'm mad most of the time.
It's because you're an angry man, Kevin.
I'm an
But
angry man.
we have
Actually, I'm
noticed
pretty
and
happy.
talked about.
I'm a happy guy.
You're
I just
right.
get angry talking about dumb shit.
You just bottle your anger and it burps every now and again.
yes.
But
Because I'm
so,
a man and that's what men do. Push it down
Exactly.
deep
Toxic. We've basically discussed
to the balls.
that we think
Where you
that
push it to.
it did plateau during COVID. So I think we both agree that wokeism's on the way down the hill, right?
Yes.
While you're over there giggling about your balls comment.
That's where you push your emotions to.
All the way down to your balls. So you can tell I'm really angry by this. But
By the sound of
inappropriate,
my
Kevin.
balls clanking.
Starting to sound like those chrome balls on your desk. That means I'm getting real angry. What the hell
All
is
right,
wrong with you?
ask your. I don't know. Ask your question.
But being that wokeism is supposed to be the enlightened mindset of the future, why do you think it's failing? You think it's because people are just starting to wake up, or you think people already knew it was bullshit, but have gotten to the point where they're so tired that they're just like, shut the fuck up?
Everybody knew it was bullshit except for maybe 10% of the population. Probably less than that. Just the loud, annoying part of the population. And people are just getting tired of it getting shoved down their throat in everything from department stores to the ads on TV to movies to news to every facet of life you can think of. They're getting shoved. There's shit's getting shoved down their throat, and even people who probably even sided with it at the beginning, sided with this shit, they're getting tired of it because it's everywhere. People were like, yeah, racism is bad. People, some people might be like, the vast majority of people are like, just don't be mean to people. Yes. But then you're like, now you got to include these people. Now we're going to want to start fucking showing these books to children, and parents are bad. And, people get tired of this shit. And eventually, the majority of America, which is sad because, it's your civic duty to, be a part of, the government and all this shit, but they don't care about this shit until it's right in their face. And that's probably 60% of America. Don't care. They don't care about anything. They just want to live their lives, and they don't want anybody to really disrupt what they're doing. When you start disrupting their lives, their routine, that's when they get mad. And that's what this wokeism shit is it's disrupting their lives.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think they get the foothold in by saying stuff like racism is bad. They'll say something obvious.
Yeah, of
Like,
course
yeah,
racism
is bad. So but then when it gets to the point to where if you're not a minority, you're a racist bigot, that's when people start waking up.
When
like,
people are
wait
like,
a second, I'm not racist.
Yeah, when people are like, hey, racism's bad, they're like, oh, but you're a white man, so you're obviously racist. Or you're a white woman, you're obviously racist. Like, whoa, man. Hey, I'm just trying to live my goddamn life. I don't care what color you are, what you do. Get the fuck out of my way.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't say it like that. It's angry.
Well, it's the way I would say it.
Mr. Metallic.
Well, I'm just saying now they're starting to say, get the fuck out of my way. I just want to live my
Wow.
life.
Yeah, that's exactly what
And that's how they're showing it with the stuff with these movies and Target and Bud Light. And, people are starting to be like, hey, we got to stop doing this shit. Just go back to normal.
I'm going to wrap the last two questions up into one because it's pretty much the same question. You kind of led into it with your little list of movies, Bud Light, Target, and all this shit. Can these institutions continue to do this? Because all you hear about is how they're losing money hand over foot.
Yeah, but like BlackRock, Vanguard, and I know there's one other, and I never remember the name, but they're three biggest, what do you call them? Kind of institutions, financial institutions.
Hedge funds.
So I still think they're Ponzi schemes. I think most hedge funds are Ponzi schemes, but they give these people lines of credit. They give these movies lines of credit. They give these Target lines of credit. They give 90% of the Fortune 500 is 20% or about around 10 to 20% owned by BlackRock, Vanguard, or this other company. And
I think it'll be interesting to know, though, how much money altogether has been lost due to wokeism, because we're talking billions of dollars per company. You can't subsidize BlackRock's got a lot of money. You can't subsidize that for because sooner or later, like you said, it's a Ponzi scheme. They just move funds around, and like if you need a payout, they move shit here or there.
Well, I don't understand how they can invest in companies, make them this, have these companies lose money, and explain that to the people who are investing in these hedge funds.
Yeah, so that part is going to do it itself, and then even say they do keep propping up Disney and Target or whatever, and keeping these companies going. There's a different kind of it's not an ESG score. Let's call it the, domestic population score, where it doesn't matter if you're getting subsidized by BlackRock. Disney is now, and I think it's already there. Disney has become a joke. Nobody they think this new movie Wish that they're bringing out is kind of an anti-Christian, anti-God thing, and we can get into that later, but not on this episode, but on a different episode. But it had to do with the king grants wishes, but only grants wishes to certain people, and this little this girl has the ability to wish, and she grants everybody's wishes. So it's like, oh well, God didn't answer all my prayers, but this person is. And then you get another Bruce Almighty thing where everybody wins the lottery and everybody gets $5.
I don't know if it's anti-Christian. I think sometimes people read too much into stuff.
I'm just
It
saying
might be.
there's
It
an
might
angle.
not be. I don't know if it's funny.
I'm just saying everything that Disney's came out with, like except for Onward. I liked Onward. I don't know if
Which
there's
one's Onward?
Come on, it's got Chris Pratt and the dude who played Spider-Man, and they're like, it's in a place where it used to be all like wizards and trolls and pixies and all this shit, and then they basically advanced technologically, so they forgot about magic. So then these two brothers are trying to find a Phoenix Stone to bring their dad back to life who died. You ever see that?
No, I'm not a child.
You need to watch it. It's good.
Although I did like Wall-E. Wall-E is
What
by
the
far my
what the
favorite
fuck did you just
Pixar
say?
movie.
What'd you say?
So I'm not a child.
What are you saying?
That you're a child
Why?
because you like children's movies.
No, I like cartoons. You don't like Rick and Morty?
I do, but that's not really. That's an adult cartoon.
So is Onward.
Pixar. See, they can do
Pixar.
they could have done a one with cussing and stuff. This fucking made the R really big. Pixar.
What about Ron? That robot movie. That one's good too.
Ron?
Something. Yeah, I think the movie's called Ron.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
It's a movie called Ron.
What's it about?
A robot friend.
Oh, I think that one. I don't know if I've seen that one, but I know what you're talking about.
It's probably not Ron.
I don't think I've
it's
seen a Pixar movie since I saw Up, I saw Wall-E, and I think I saw the first two Toy Stories. And maybe Cars, but I don't remember Cars, so I don't think I watched all of it. And most of these I watched because
Ron's Gone Wrong.
Ron's Gone Wrong.
Wrong. I liked it.
I thought that sounded super racist there. I'm like, damn, did they really name it that?
I don't know who made it. I don't even know if it's a Disney movie. It's
I
a
don't
good
th-
movie.
Ron Gone Wrong?
Ron's Gone Wrong. Like, it's about a poor kid. Every kid, it's like this inventor.
I've never heard of this movie
It's
ever in
actually
my life.
Yeah, it kind of talks shit about social media, but it's like, one of these social media or like Apple thing. It's kind of, I think, Apple based. And this guy wants to make the perfect friend, so he makes these robots and does this little algorithm thing. And then every kid in town has one. And this kid's like, I really want one. And his dad like sells novelties and doesn't have a lot of money. But he talked to a delivery guy and given him a broken one. So this one's like all fucked up and doesn't act right. And it's funny. I liked it.
He's all dumb.
Yeah, he was touched.
Ron's touched.
Yeah. Like, they're not allowed to like hurt kids. And Ron beat the shit out of like 3 of the bullies that were picking on his buddy.
You know what?
It's a good movie.
I'm just saying, like, top 3 robot movies I've ever seen. Terminator's probably.
Yeah. Terminator,
Short Circuit.
Short Circuit, and Ron's Gone Wrong.
Now,
Do you like
Wall-E
Short
was-
Circuit 2?
Wall-E was made. I don't never.
I like
maybe.
Wall-E.
Maybe I'll see Ron's Gone Wrong. Sorry.
There's Gone Wrong. There's too much Ron, non.
There's too many ons in there.
Let me see. I
need
don't
to
know if
see-
it's on.
I'm gonna watch
the.
when we're done. I'm gonna watch the trailer for this because I've never heard of this movie at all. But Short Circuit was amazing.
Yeah, it was. Do you like the second one?
No,
Where you
not
got
as
all
much as I liked
blamed out?
it. I liked it, just not as much as the first one.
That first one was great.
Johnny
I think that was a
Five.
real robot.
Johnny Five's alive.
Johnny 5 is alive. Then he made himself look like a biker.
Yeah.
But
So if any
So
of you
you-
guys have not
so
seen
you
Short Circuit,
think-
watch it.
yes, you should. It's totally cool, and it doesn't even like. I think I would say. Oh, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
You have to wave because I undid my things. Hold on a second. Technical difficulty.
All right, put it on pause.
You're moving your lips. And we're back. During the break,
Hey.
Kevin watched a preview of Ron's Gone Wrong,
Not wrong.
and he knows what I'm talking about now.
Yes,
It's a great movie.
it looked funny. It's a big dumb robot.
But yeah, quick wrap up of wokeism. So I don't think this is sustainable. I don't care how much financial backing you have because
It's not sustainable.
ESG is getting banned in countries and states.
Yeah, it's not sustainable. Where you want to keep going with this?
Well, I just think that are there any companies that you think can't come back, or do you think any company can if they do like a public firing and stuff like that?
I don't know.
Like, how does Disney come back? They've been making garbage for.
You make
since
good
the
movies.
pandemic.
That's how Disney comes back. You make good movies. You make movies for your general audience, not a specific audience. You make movies for middle America, if you want to call it that. And I'm not saying like the Midwest. I'm talking about the middle of the aisle.
I would say too, if you own a department store, not to make your fringe buyers a giant display right as soon as somebody comes in the door.
Yes,
who's tired of
exactly.
seeing the shit.
Stuff like that. You don't put fake woman, and I'm not saying like even a trans person. I'm saying this dude is playing a woman as your frickin' spokesman or even influencer.
Hey,
You
so
don't
here's
do
something
these
funny
things.
that is tired of seeing on TV. Have you heard of the store called Sephora? It's like a makeup thing.
No,
It used to be in JCPenney's here.
I don't
now
really
it's in-
watch TV or commercials. Everything's
Well, no, well, this is like a mini store. It's like it used to be in JCPenney's down here. It's like a store inside a store, and it's all makeup shit. Well, it moved over to Kohl's here. That really is not a new story, but we saw a commercial on that today before I came up to do the podcast. And it's a girl sitting on the couch with a guy who's wearing glittery eyeshadow, and she's putting lipstick on him. And that was the whole fucking commercial.
What the hell?
Get your makeup at Sephora so you can pretty up your boyfriend or gay man friend.
I don't know.
It's like-
I just don't see.
Keep advertising to the niche. The niche.
Exactly. This is how you lose money. And they're doing this for their ESG score. And that's what most of these companies are doing it. Because I'm sorry, but until ESG is banned in America, companies that California will never ban it.
What kind of makes me wonder
New
is that the
York will never
companies that
ban
are
it.
placating to this, though, I kind of wonder if they're in financial trouble and they need an influx. So I
bet-
know we'll make a woke ass commercial and then we'll get a good ESG score and we'll get money.
Well, what happened probably is they tried to placate to a certain audience and they lost money on a movie or product. And all of a sudden they need to raise their ESG score to get more money for more line of credit from these hedge funds. And eventually you're just their freaking, whipping boy.
Yeah.
So, but
See,
yes,
I think the future wokeism is garbage. It's either going to destroy the world or
Yep.
it's going to burn in the heap of historical bad ideas.
wokeism all
Historically
leads to one
bad
place: socialism.
Yes.
And socialism does not work. Socialism turns into a dictatorship every effing time.
It's a tool to manipulate the minds of the weak
Yes.
in order to destroy a society and its culture and then turn it to socialism and communism.
Yep. So if wokeism is anything, it's brought on by globalists who want a one world government.
I would agree with that. It's bad.
So it's never in the interest of fairness or equality or equity or whatever you want to call it. It's in the interest of people in power. And yes, like you said, it feeds on the weak and then spits them out when they're done with them.
I would agree.
So if you're woke, you're an idiot.
Yes. And I hope you're broke.
You're weak minded.
Yeah.
You probably got a bunch
go.
of student bills, so yeah, you're probably broke.
Yeah, probably are broke. Let's roll into general discussion. I'm going to name a topic, and then you talk about it. Okay? San
Yes.
Francisco.
Okay. So San Francisco is a shithole. It has been a shithole for years. Literally a shithole where you needed an app to avoid the poop on the street. So yes, it's a shithole until a dictator comes to visit. Then all of a sudden they want to clean it up. California pretty much just wanted to bow to their master, who they want to be their masters, and that's the Chinese. They are one of the weakest minded fucking states. They got a Kindle as a governor who's a moron, and they pretty much placate to the Chinese. And they wanted to make sure the Chinese thought their city was pretty, even though they probably have poop stains all over their sidewalks still.
Not anymore. I heard reports from people in San Francisco saying the city is wonderfully clean and very nice right now. My question is, what the hell did they do with all the homeless drug addicts? Ship them to L.A., have them like crammed into a high school gymnasium? They put them somewhere, Kevin.
Enjoy your new green Jello.
Yeah, it's like,
what
okay.
did they do with them though?
Yeah, because they had a shit ton of homeless. Like, where did all these people go? You know what they probably did is brought in artists to just paint them.
Right?
What they did, they painted them so like if they're laying on the sidewalk, they just brought in artists to make it look like the sidewalk. Oh no, they're still there. We just put out a shit ton of potpourri. The paint fumes help too.
I'm gonna look this up. Where did the homeless go in San Francisco?
Well, while you're looking that up, I will do one more quick topic. If you happen to be one of the people, one of the umpteen millions of people that own a AR-15 pistol brace, a Texas judge expanded the injunction against the ATF's pistol brace rule to the entire nation. So up until the case is settled, if you have a brace, the ATF cannot prosecute for that. Go along, Kevin. I don't like that.
So this is what they did.
Okay.
They opened some shelters, put them past capacity, but while the city did move homeless people out of the designated summit security zone, many didn't go very far. People were just forced to go into the alleys. and a lot of people are under the freeway. So they basically just hit them and they did what every kid did when he cleaned his room, is shove a bunch of shit under his bed or in his closet. So, what the fuck?
So as soon as they leave, there's going to be this
like
opening of the closet door.
Shit
instead of clothes and garbage, it's smelly homeless people.
Well, you'd have to assume they had security guards or cops fucking making sure they didn't get out of the alleys.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of tase people just like, or they gave them that drug that makes them just like, brr. All right, next topic.
Jesus. I'm just saying that's if you're going to invite homeless people, then deal with it. Don't just shove them under the bed.
That's socialism. It's all about painting shit to make it look pretty and hiding all the flaws.
That's what North Korea does. They have a facade of the one nice part where everybody visits, and the rest of the country is a shithole.
Yeah, I mean that's California. At least in the cities where Democrats run stuff, and the spots of California that aren't run by Democrats, I'm sure they're quite nice. Next topic, Mike Johnson.
Piece of shit. Well, the whole Republican Party in general. Basically, what we did is we pretty much kicked the can down the, what do you call it? Kicked the can
down the road.
Down the road of the budget.
That's a tough one. I couldn't
remember. I was going to say down the hill, but I didn't think that was correct. So basically, on this
roll the log down the hill. Kevin.
So basically, what Mike Johnson did was, because he couldn't get enough Republicans to agree to, just on a resolution of a budget of less spending, border security, not sending a bunch of money to Ukraine. He just pretty much just kicked the can down the road, and we're using the same spending that Nancy Pelosi put in place way back, because you know what the Republicans haven't done? Anything. Any of them. The best thing the only thing Republicans have done is kick somebody off the speakership. That's the only thing they've done since they've gotten power. And they're almost worse than Democrats. At least I can give Democrats credit because they didn't come together to fuck America. Republicans say they're not going to fuck America, but yet constantly do it with their fucking non-actions. They are a weak party, and somehow I'm somewhat aligned with them because the other party is also total garbage, only that garbage is on fire. So it's either garbage or fire garbage.
We're the unignited dumpster.
I mean, it's just...
It's because you have a bunch of rhinos.
I know. Well, you guys, a bunch of people just taking money and not doing their fucking job. What they're doing is, it's again, starting from the beginning of what we talk about, it's about self. It's not about community. And I don't know. I don't know if government was always this way. I'm sure it wasn't when it first started, but that's what government turned into. It's about self. It's never about your constituents. It's never about the American people. It's about how can I make myself more money or more powerful. And you get that. And this might be a downfall of America's success is people don't care about the American dream or the American people or the working class. It's either elite government person or the people they're stepping on, or elite rich people. And what's sad is this is the talking points that Democrats had 10 years ago is the elite versus the fucking working class. Probably not 10 years ago, probably 20, 30 years ago. And they were the working class party, whether they're supposedly the working class party is what they claim themselves to be. And now Republicans are saying they're the working class party, but they don't do anything to help. Neither party does anything to help the working class. You got your fringe people, like I would say, like Chip Roy from Texas. I could probably name about 4 others. Then you got the senator that wants to fight somebody.
Oklahoma senator.
The Oklahoma Sullivan, I think, or Sullivan, or I can't remember his name. But I mean, it's few and far between. It's 1 in every 10, and it's our fault. America, it's our fault. We're not doing our civic duty. You have one job as an American citizen, and that's to vote your representative in. And what you're doing is not doing that. You're just voting somebody with an R or a D. You're not going to primaries. You're certainly not doing small town elections or, the ones that actually matter. But I mean, these matter. But you got to go to these primaries. You got to learn about these people. You got to learn who's for, actual Americans. I mean, sometimes they're lying out their ass and, they're great liars. You just don't elect them the next time. But what you do is you get so, I don't know. You just don't care. So you just mark the guy with the R or D.
People are caught up on their cell phones and social media and all that shit and don't pay attention to life.
Yes. Well, yeah, until it actually affects them. But even now,
like, how'd this happen?
The inflation is so bad.
Gone bad.
Inflation is so bad right now, and people don't understand why. But I mean, there's a good reason for it. We have out of control spending.
Yep.
We have so much goddamn debt. Our GDP matches our interest rate.
That's the
interest rate might actually be more than our GDP.
All I know is I was talking to somebody today, and we both kind of agreed that there's no coming back from this. We're financially fucked. At some point, they're going to have to make some real hard choices, and we're going to have to reset our currency somehow while simultaneously maintaining our status as the world currency. Because there's no coming back.
It's fucked.
You could pull like, hey, China, you can get fucked on what we owe you because of COVID. We're going to take what we owe you as payment for the money it cost us to deal with COVID. You can do something like that. Or you could just be like, you could always be the big swinging dick on the block and be like, look.
Fuck you, I'm not paying anything back.
And you're going to do whatever we tell you to do because we got the bigger guns. That's why it leads the war. That's why I think China's going to get a little loose.
I mean, you can't. I mean, I guess you could back the dollar with gold again, but the dollar would.
There's not enough gold in the universe, Kevin.
Not with as much money as out there, but you'd almost either have to completely scrap the dollar and go to a new monetary system.
You could do gold, crude. I think you could half-ass fix the dollar if we got our economy away from service and more into tangible things. Because if you have a big manufacturing country, I could be wrong in this, but the way I see it is if you're producing steel, oil, like energy, stuff like that, that almost like creates new money. Like you're creating new money for that good when the United States creates new money out of nothing for all these stupid programs and shit. That causes inflation. But when when the money's based on a tangible thing that's been manufactured or created or produced, if we went that route, that might help too. But like, I mean, honestly, with the way things are going, I think the reason why the Republicans are so fractured right too, because they say a lot more so and so's Republican, but he lives in a Biden state. Who the fuck cares? Not the whole state votes for you, dipshits. The people in your district vote for you. It's like, why the hell would people in the district vote for a Republican if they just wanted a Democrat? That doesn't make any sense. It's like, well, Biden won his state, so they don't want to stir off the people who live in the state that wouldn't vote for him anyway. I mean, I don't know, that kind of shit's stupid. The last thing was the Joe Manchin might have a third or fourth third party candidate. I guess it would be a second third party candidate because he thinks Trump will destroy our democracy if he's reelected.
Well, that's just dumb.
Basically, if Trump and Biden after Super Tuesday are the two candidates, and he's pretending that Kennedy doesn't exist, he said he'll run as a third candidate. I don't think he's got a chance to win. The reason he's retiring is because he voted for the Green New Deal. Oh, I mean the Inflation Reduction Act. Sorry, I get those mixed up.
Yeah, they're the same thing. You could tell it whatever. Oh. It's closer to the Green New Deal than it was inflation reduction because I don't see inflation reducing. No. And people say that, it's only 3% or 10% or 8% or whatever the fuck it is now. No, that's on top of the 13%.
No, we're up over 18% since Biden took office.
So, I mean, you're still paying 18% higher than when before he was in office.
Yeah, the only way to correct it is if we had deflation.
Negative. You have to have negative numbers. Like you have to have -3 inflation rate.
That just again shows you how stupid people are when
inflation
is only 3% on top of the year it was like 9%.
Well, they think inflation is 3%, not on top of. They don't understand that it grows. People are dumb. People are just stupid.
That is true.
But no, Manchin, who cares?
Yeah, I don't think he has a chance of winning.
He doesn't have a chance.
We needed to make that unity.org was trying to get a unity ticket with Joe Manchin as a Democrat and Mitt Romney as his VP. I'm like, you get fucked on that. Mitt Romney ain't polling Republicans.
No. Who are you getting?
That's who they wanted. It's like, okay, whoever's running your organization is an idiot. Like, that is not a good ticket. The dude couldn't beat Obama, and that dude because he didn't have any balls. Like Obama, a lot of people thought Obama might lose his. Well, maybe there's a little Bidenomics going on back in.
Biden said that Mitt Romney is going to put white or black people back in chains, and Mitt Romney is the most milquetoast person. And this isn't part of the white slur of the week. He's milquetoast. We haven't got to that one, but he is, as this means he's dull, and he doesn't do anything. He's a rhino. He's a Republican in name only.
That is true. And since you brought up the white slur of the week, we're going to go ahead and move right into that, Kevin.
Woo!
White slur of the week.
What's a honky?
Today's white slur of the week is tree looper. Tree looper is a slur used to describe whites in a derogatory way. Rednecks are commonly known for incest, thus looping the family tree. You learn new things on this show.
Yeah,
But
you do.
with that awesome little insert of knowledge, I'm Josh.
And I'm Kevin.
And this has been another totally awesome episode of The Lost Art of Common Sense.
Common sense.
Common sense, baby.
Common sense. I'm never looping a tree.
See you next week, everybody.